Hi, so in this lesson I wanted to talk about how to know when to change chords. It's a question that comes up a lot, and a lot of students get very good at playing their chords. Every student has strong points and weak points. Some students are able to sense when the chords change, and others just haven't developed that yet. But a lot of students get where they can make their chords sound pretty good, and maybe they have a rhythm, that they can play, and they have a pretty good feel for the beat. Might be able to sing and play the rhythm at the same time. And I want you to keep in mind, I just spoke about 3 different facets of playing music, and realize when you're new at it, you are, like, say you want to strum and sing a song and accompany yourself. You are asking yourself to do a lot of things. And if you're new to the whole thing, you're asking yourself to do more than 3 things that are new to you. So, cut yourself some slack. And anytime you can break it down and focus on one thing at a time, that helps a lot. But the topic of this lesson is how to know when to change chords. That can be really elusive to a lot of people. So there's a few things that help. One thing is to try to get away from thinking about it so much. If we're having trouble knowing when to change our chords, it might be because we're thinking instead of feeling. Making chord changes is the kind of thing, a lot of things in music, it can be helpful to think about it in order to learn a lot of things we need to learn. During the learning process, there's a stage at the very beginning where we have to think about it, like how many beats, or what word is the chord change, or, songs usually have, a lot of songs have sets of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And we could call those measures or bars. We could say, play. Sometimes what I say is play the G, play the pattern on G 2 times, or play the pattern on E minor 2 times. But all those things are thinking. So we have to be careful about too much thinking. And if we think that knowing when to change chords has to do with thinking, that can really trip us up. And the best thing to do is to get some experience listening and feeling. And the way we can do this is, if you have a partner, it's so awesome if you can be with people playing music. That helps so much. And even if you can't play as good as they do yet, if what we're focusing on is knowing when to change chords, let's focus on that one thing. We improve everything by focusing on one thing. So if making the whole chord shape is still kind of new, maybe a little awkward, or you can't quite get there on time, just pick the bass note. And so, say for a chord progression, this is a very popular chord progression, starting with a G chord, E minor. A lot of songs can be played with these chords. So, you're playing with people, they're playing a song that goes like that, and there are lots of them. And if you're familiar with your chord shapes, you can look at their hand, you could tell they're on their G chord. We're gonna improve everything by focusing on one thing. So watch and listen, and when they're playing G, just play a G note. And then when they switch to E, play your low note is at E. When they switch to C, if you don't know which note to play, usually the lowest note in your chord shape is the bass note. Actually, you can play any note that's in the chord and it'll sound good. So just pick one. But for C, I would play this one here, 3rd fret, 5th string. And that's your C note. And then when they play the D chord, you would just play your 4th string open, that's a D. So instead of trying to do all this, oh, stand by me, what you're doing is C, D, and that gives you a chance to listen and feel when the chords change, and participate. Those three ingredients are really important. Participating is really important. You're actually doing it. You listen, you hear the chords change, you see the chords change, and you participate. That will help you develop just a sense of when the chords change, and that's far better than thinking, oh, I have to do this 2 times, then I do that 2 times, I do that C chord once, do D. Then you're thinking, and that can really trip you up. Thinking can help sometimes. It's a necessary part of the time. But whenever we can get into feeling, then feeling the groove, feeling and hearing the chord changes, then we're really developing musically. So that's what I have to say today. If you have any questions, any other questions are great. Actually, this lesson is because somebody asked me that question, and I enjoy responding to questions and come up with a lot of good lessons because of your questions. So what we just talked about, we learned you can have a chance to do that if you don't have people to play with, and if you want to register for my beginner guitar class, you can play along with videos and do what I just talked about. And so if you'd like information on my beginner guitar class, go to www.everyonecanjam.com and sign up for my email list, and I will send you information about the beginner guitar class. Guess that's it for today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.